combinations. Now, friends, this is an important piece. Once again, although it's not very pervasive, it only applies if you have such a transaction. But the old definition of a business under Ind AS 11 or Ind AS 103 was very complex in application. It was quite vague in some sense, uh, and defining the business correctly is the fundamental thing about applying business combination accounting. Because if you don't get this right, the answer could swing between a business combination to an asset acquisition. What the proposed amendment to Ind AS 103 does is basically it applies more clearer guidance to users or preparers of the financial statements as to what is a business versus what is an asset acquisition. More importantly, and this is a very welcome relief for many entities, is that the concentration test in terms of the fair value is introduced in the standard. To give you a very quick overview of this, the concentration test basically means that if substantially all of the fair value of the assets acquired, and it's important that this is gross assets acquired, not net assets, is concentrated in a single or a similar group of assets, then this is in fact an acquisition of an asset rather than a business. So therefore there is a choice available for preparers of financial statements where they account for this as an asset purchase. Once again, important, because if you account for it as an asset purchase, you do not have goodwill, you do not have the many other disclosures that you would see in a business combination. Your impairment testing at every annual balance sheet date also goes away. And this is a fairly common transaction, especially when you have entities that have created a technology or a platform or a tool, and they transfer the tool. It's a startup which has developed a fantastic customer management tool. That customer management tool gets bought over by say an ongoing company like an insurance company or a bank. They are really paying only for the equipment. Although people may have transferred, the real money is only being paid for the equipment, and therefore the standard does permit accounting for this as an asset purchase. Again, as I mentioned, it's optional. It's optional is what is important to be kept in mind. Now, a lot of times we focused upon the definition of business. It should generate an output. That definition is now getting narrower. Basically, the definition of a business has now narrowed down. What the amendments clarify is that while businesses usually have outputs, an output is not required for an integrated set of activities to qualify as business. Right? It's a very important change because the definition now gets that much more narrower. What is now relevant is substantively, is it able to contribute to the creation of an output? And if that answer is a yes, that's when you end up with the combination being a business combination. So what we expect really is that because of this change of the definition becoming more narrower, focusing very substantively on the ability to contribute to an output rather than being an output itself, or the ability to contribute to the process of the entity. We believe there will be fewer changes, or there will be fewer combinations which will be a business combination. More and more combinations would be asset acquisitions rather than business combinations. And that therefore in many ways simplifies the accounting for readers of financial statements and preparers of financial statements. You do not need to have a lot of purchase price allocation, assessment of goodwill, and some of those steps that you would normally have to undergo. Once again, I'll just put a small example to clarify the concept. It's applicable for periods beginning on or April 1st, April 2020. In this example, a purchaser has purchased a multi-tenant corporate office park with office buildings that are fully leased. Additionally, some of the activities that are carried out are basically a certain amount of outsourced cleaning, security, and maintenance services. Employees, other assets, processes are not transferred. The aggregate fair value of the consideration paid is for the office park, and the office park, which comprises of those multiple 6-10 story buildings, are similar. Now the key question is, would this meet the definition of a business combination? Now, one, the organized workforce is not considered in this. Secondly, the purchaser considers that the processes that are performed in terms of the security, maintenance are ancillary. They are not major or critical to the ability to contribute or generation of an output. And therefore, the box that you see here in the golden box does not constitute a business combination under the new definition. Let's take this one step forward. In addition to this, if the purchaser acquired or also had employees coming into it, it also entered into arrangements where there was a tenant management platform, there was employees in their operations, leasing team. In this case, the entity could conclude it's a business combination, because basically you're now substantively taking over the workforce which has the necessary skills, knowledge and experience to give you the output, which is the leasing, and further your leasing business. And that's the reason why this example would then cumulatively become a business combination. As I said, very specific facts-based assessment. We are just trying to highlight the key aspects, that definition is narrower. More importantly, the asset concentration test or the fair value concentration test has been introduced, which was not there in the earlier standard.